My next author I am going to call is Miss Kandy Rose.
Y'all give her a hand clap. Give Candy a
Kandy
hand clap.
Rose.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kandy Rose. I am an author, of course, but I'm also an accountant and the owner of Inhands Financial Services, where we walk hand in hand with our clients on their financial journey. I'm also a mother of three. My oldest daughter, right here, she is a sophomore at Howard University. I also have my youngest daughter who is going to seventh grade, and I'm also a boy mom. My son, he's going to first grade. However, I have two literary pieces, and my first is a journal. The journal is called Surviving Life's Storm, A Journey of Faith, Resilience, and Triumph. And one thing about life is that we're going to encounter some storms one way or another. Now, when I was younger, I didn't understand when the elders used to say, just live a little bit. You're going to see, just live a little. You may not have encountered any storms or experienced anything right now, but just live a little bit. And sure enough, I just lived a little bit.
Come on, Candy. Come on.
And I encountered some storms that I went through, that I endured, and through the grace of God, I have overcome and triumphed to the other side. The other side is what I call the land flowing with milk and honey.
Yes, girl.
The first storm was my first year in marriage, okay? The honeymoon stage. I mean, I had my new husband, my new blended family. I mean, life was good, my new beginnings. And just like that, the storm of life just come raging in. And my husband's infidelity led to a baby outside our marriage.
My Lord.
Now, how can we go on from something like that? The betrayal, the humiliation, the embarrassment. And so, how can we go on? However, through the grace of God, we prevailed, continued our marriage, and everything was all good. Well, at least I thought so. And then another storm. He wanted a divorce. What, a divorce? I didn't even see that coming. Things were all good just a week ago. What a divorce coming at? So you mean to tell me after you stepped out, had a baby, I took you back, 7 years later, now you want a divorce? With no counseling, no trying to make it right or anything of that nature? Just want out? And that's what it was. So there was another storm. So that's another, well, how does life look now? So at that point, I just had to focus on me and my kids. Because things about storms is that it not only affects you, it affects your household, your kids. They're looking and paying attention as well. So I had to be strong for my kids, work on my healing and my personal development in my group. So I got through that storm, totally healed from the divorce. Things was going good. And then bam, a financial storm. Now you see the financial storm? That was the hardest storm of all of them put together. Because, with the other storms, it had me on my knees. It had me praying. But that financial storm, it could have took me out. I was stretched out before the Lord, laid out, made my own altar at home, and pinching myself. This got to be a dream. This can't be real. Because I was so used to moving how I need to move, and I had so many responsibilities, so much weight. Not only with my household, but I'm a business owner. I have a whole brick and mortar, rent, payroll, staff, utilities. So it's just not about me, it's about others who are dependent on me as well. And it was through that financial storm, through the hardest storm of them all, is where I wrote this journal. Surviving Life's Storm, the journey of faith, resilience, and triumph. And during that time, I began to open up about my divorce as well because I was totally healed at that point. So I began to open up and tell my testimony in an effort to help others. And individuals would inbox me and say, wait, you went through what? You going through what? They say, Candy, I see you showing up, you doing this, you smiling, you train. I didn't even know that you were going through this. And someone said that, you know what, I'm going through a similar situation. How are you going through? How are you getting through? And even my family members who knew what was going on was like, girl, you looking good. You sure you going through something? And that was just the grace of God. For it to appear or to look like I didn't look like what I was going through, to make it look like those storms was a walk in the park, but truly, they wasn't a walk in the park. So I wrote this journal because I thought about that. Well, how in the world I'm getting through these storms? Because this ain't no little bitty thing. But how I'm getting through them, and I thought about it. So the journal gives you 7 keys, 7 pillars to face any storm of life. And I'm not going to go through all of them because I know my time is almost up, but for example, these 7 pillars is what helped me. And I believe it, will help you and others as well. So first one is the first pillar is you have to face the storm. You have to acknowledge that you are in a storm. Okay, this is the season I'm in. I'm going to acknowledge it. I'm in a storm. I'm not going to shy from it. You have to face it head on so you can move past through it. Another pillar is the power of prayer. I'm a believer. I have a relationship with God, but those storms kept me on my knees, and I could truly say now that I have a personal relationship with God. My prayer, my morning devotion was so important because that's where I received my reset and my refill. That's why I was able to hear the instructions from God so I could go out and conquer the world and be there for my kids and be there for the business. And another thing that I talk about is, another pillar is your friend circle. You have to evaluate your friend circle during those storms, and thank God I had a good friend circle. Because during those storms, sometimes you have to lean on your friend's faith. Sometimes when you're in those storms of life and them storms are getting you down, you can't have the strength to pray, the words what to say, but your friends could carry you through. So I had friends who were able to carry me through. Not only that, friends who could cover you and protect you. Because at that point, you're in your most weakest and vulnerable moments. So you don't need friends to kick you while you're already down. You don't need friends to expose your vulnerabilities while you're in your lowest point. So I don't want to go too much, but that's the journal, guys. It's 7 pillars of how you can survive any storm of life. And this journal is on Amazon for $25, but today it's only $15, all right? And lastly, I'm going to be real quick. I have a book called A Woman of Many Hats, Balancing Life's Roles with Grace and Success. Because we as women, we wear so many hats. And after my divorce, I kind of thought to myself, well, am I divorced because I was wearing so many hats and I wasn't as attentive to the wife hat compared to another hat? But through the grace of God and prayer, God revealed that, no, you can wear all of your hats and still have a good marriage, a good business, be a good mom, but you just have to put some boundaries in place, some parameters, have to say no to some things. So that's what the book A Woman of Many Hats is about, and it's a 3-point message to the book, is that yes, we are women of many hats and we can do it all. However, the balance doesn't mean perfection. Okay, you're not perfect. Some things will fall through the wayside, but that's okay. It's the perseverance that really matters. The second message is that you're not meant to do things all alone. We're a woman of many hats. We're independent. And sometimes it may be hard for us to receive help. But sometimes you have to set those hats down and allow others to help you along the way. And the last message behind the book is that don't forget about the me hat. And that was me all the way as far as work. Because you're a business owner, you want to make sure things are good and up to par, you're meeting goals. And you have to take some time for yourself to just to relax, just to pour into yourself. So don't forget about the me hat. So that's me. Thank you so much.